Alright, now with the all-new Spider-Man movie, we are all reminded of the quote that with great power comes great responsibility. But when we talk about smartphone processors, I think we can slightly tweak that statement to say that with great power comes a lot of heat. And we've seen this multiple times, and the latest example happens to be the Snapdragon 888. At its core, the chipset was a marvel for its time. Based on the new 5nm architecture, the chipset was the fastest from the company, thanks to super fast cores along with an improved AI engine as well. However, fast forward, as a reviewer, the biggest downside to a flagship smartphone is the 888 processor itself. So, what exactly went wrong? Well, this is Varun from GTR, and in today's video, we'll be taking a deep dive into Snapdragon 888 and where it all went wrong. Let's get started. Alright, so let's just first look at where things started. See, every OEM out there rushed to launch their smartphone with Snapdragon 888. Their brand new flagship device that was to be powered by Snapdragon 888, and all they wanted was to be the first phone to feature this processor. So all these brands like OnePlus, Realme, iQOO and Samsung all rushed to launch their new flagship 888 powered devices. The issue? Lack of optimization. Literally all the devices struggled with the same issues of overheating. I think the worst was with the OnePlus 9 series, where even keeping the phone on idle would heat up the phone. For others, it was when you would launch the camera or game for even 5 minutes. And mind you that these are all smartphones that come with some sort of vapor chamber cooling tech. Essentially, there was just a massive disconnect between the chipset and the software and the hardware of the phone. Now, why do I say hardware? I'll get to that in a bit, but let's just focus on the software front for a bit. See, as much as OnePlus got flagged for their lack of optimization, they were amongst the first companies to actually roll out subsequent and frequent updates to quickly fix most of the issues. And yeah, for the most part, those software updates did do the trick. Your idle overheating issues were gone. Other OEMs also carried suit, and their heating issues for the basic stuff was gone as well. Sounds good as long as you're looking at the context of basic stuff. You don't buy a flagship phone for basic stuff. You expect basic stuff to function fine, but you buy a flagship phone to, do flagship stuff, do multitasking, play games at the highest settings, record movies in 4K resolution and whatnot. And in those kind of scenarios, the issues of Snapdragon 888 still persisted. The phone would anyway heat up and you would just be restricted to using your so-called flagship device for mediocre usage. Under sustained loads, the Snapdragon 888 was still breathing fire and was quick to rise to high temperatures in no time. And that brings me to the point of hardware optimization. On comes the Asus ROG Phone 5, which is practically the only Snapdragon 888 phone to have keep the temperatures in check. But even then, it wasn't the phone itself. You needed to combine it with its cooler accessory, which just makes everything a little bit of a hassle. The biggest problem, however, was the fact that Qualcomm quickly launched the Snapdragon 870. Now on paper, the 870 is basically like a plus variant of the previously launched Snapdragon 865 Plus. So yeah, like a 865 Plus. There's just a slightly boosted clock speed on the high performance core, and well, that's about it. It's the same GPU, same 7nm architecture, same support for 5G. However, when you add the factor of optimization to this, the Snapdragon 870 performs almost as good as 888 in peak benchmarks and also has a better sustained performance. And this is the general dilemma that we as reviewers face. The Realme GT Neo 2 is a far more easier recommendation over the Realme GT. The iQOO 7 is a far more easier recommendation over the iQOO 7 Legend. The Mi 11X is a far easier recommendation over the Mi 11X Pro. And the story carries forward. And once again, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that those flagship phones aren't good. The rest of the hardware is purely top-notch. But when your phone just ends up heating in no time and you can't even make use of all those high-end features, it's anyway better to just save a buck and get these so-called budget flagship phones that actually perform almost as good as your proper flagship phones and also, are easy on your pocket. Alright, now remember how I started this video by talking about the race to be the first? You would think that OEMs would learn from that mistake. But Well, think again. Motorola once again rushed to be the first to launch their Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 powered phone in the form of the Edge X30. And guess what? The phone is already showing signs of overheating. In fact, tipsters have gone on to state that 2022 could be a hot year for Android flagships. Well, that doesn't sound promising at all. So, at the end of the day, was it all worth it? Well, in my honest opinion, not really. I mean, what is the point of having all that power when you can't even use it? Sure, the Snapdragon 888 is a monster when it comes to benchmarks, but then it just can't handle that much power. And the Snapdragon 870 offers pretty much all of that power, like almost all of that power, in a far more reliable manner, and also ends up saving a lot of bucks for a lot of users. And especially in a market like India, that makes a massive difference. I mean, there have been so many devices that I personally tried and tested that I loved the hardware, that I loved the camera, that I loved everything about them. But the single point that I hated, like literally hated about those phones, was the fact that they would heat in no time. And it wasn't even a fault of the manufacturer, it's just the chipset in itself. Yes, optimization is the key to some extent, whether it's software or hardware-based optimization. But you can only do so much if the processor in itself is just designed in a way to heat up. And well, that was it. If you like this video and would like to see more of these deep dive videos, make sure to let us know by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more awesome tech content. Till then, this is Varun from GTR, and I'll see you in the next one.